I am Marcus James Dixon with Gold Derby, and we would like to welcome Emmanuelle Duplay to our film production design panel for Netflix's Emilia Pérez. And hello also to Stephanie, the translator, who will be helping us out. So first of all, Emmanuelle, what was the initial vision like for the overall look of the sets that you and the director, Jacques, discussed early on in your planning process?
In the beginning of the process, Jacques Audiard wanted to make an opera. So, je vais passer en français. On a d'abord fait des repérages à Mexico, assez poussés. On avait trouvé quasiment tous les décors. Et on est revenu, parce qu'on avait des problèmes de timing, de casting, on est revenu à Paris. Et là, Jacques a décidé de reprendre son idée de base, qui était de tirer le film vers quelque chose de beaucoup plus opératique.
So I will speak in French. So Jacques at first wanted to make an opera. So at first we went scouting in Mexico, and we did quite an extensive scouting. We found all the sets. However, we came back to Paris as we were encountering casting and timing issues. And back in Paris, in the end, Jacques decided to go back to his initial idea, which was to actually make this movie much more operatic.
Mm. And I want to talk about some of the sets specifically. And the first one that really struck me was the crime boss's van that Rita gets kidnapped and taken into. It looked like a really fun, unique space to create. There were video screens on the walls, and there were radio cords that were kind of jiggling as the vehicle was moving. What do you remember most about that set?
Oui, en fait, on s'est pas mal posé la question de dans quel endroit Manitas pouvait habiter. Et on s'est dit, en fait, c'était quelque chose de mouvant en permanence. Donc, c'était très important pour nous, justement, que les choses puissent bouger comme ça pendant que le van roulait. Et en plus, on a profité du fait d'avoir cet espace comme ça fermé pour, à un moment, faire une scène où on enlevait tous les murs et il ne restait plus que les accessoires. Et ça montre bien le travail qu'on a fait sur le film, c'est-à-dire qu'on passait de quelque chose de très concret, très réaliste, à quelque chose de complètement abstrait. Et on a fait ça dans pas mal de décors.
Yes, actually, at first we were wondering, well, where could Manitas live? And we wanted something that was constantly in flux, in movement. It was very important for us. So it was very important for things to move as the van was traveling, moving. On top of it, it was really great to have this enclosed area to use it, and then in this enclosed area, break down all the walls, make it possible for the walls to disappear, and that just remain what would remain were the props, and we could use that. And it was very important because this really illustrates our desire to go from a very realistic location to a very abstract location using this dynamic. And we used it in many different scenes, and it was very important to us.
Mm. And another scene that struck me was the Bangkok Medical Center where Rita visits, and everything is white, and the characters are dancing around kind of on their hospital beds. Was that a set you built, or was that an actual medical facility? And what else can you tell us about that one?
We scout a place a little bit like that in Mexico, and when we were supposed to shoot everything there, and we thought it was quite interesting for the scenography and for the choreography. And so then when we decide to build it in studio, I redraw this circle, and we work special lights with Paul Guillaume, the director of photography, and we organize that the choreography of Damien Jallet can't work with the space. It was really conceived for the choreography, for the movement and for the choreography.
Mm. And I think my favorite set in the whole movie was this London restaurant where Rita sees Emilia for the first time and she says bingo, that line, that beautiful line. And all of the lights around the set turn off at the same time so they
Mm.
can have their private little moment. What was the collaboration process like? I imagine you had to work with the cinematographer more on that one and maybe some of
Yeah,
the
of
other
course.
departments.
Yeah, we worked really a lot together because Jacques really wanted to be able to um, change the light all the time, and that's a really good demonstration that's a really good example. And yes, ce qu'on voulait montrer, je passe en français, ce qu'on voulait montrer par ce décor, c'est que tout d'un coup, elle était arrivée à ce qu'elle voulait, avocate à succès à Londres. Donc on a vraiment cherché un endroit très sophistiqué pour faire cette rencontre entre les deux. Ouais.
And we wanted to show with the sets that Rita had really reached what she was trying to reach. She was finally a very successful lawyer. So we wanted to have a restaurant, a decor that was extremely sophisticated, that showed this success.
Mm-hmm. I remember I got chills when she said bingo. Carla says bingo. It's such a perfect
Yes.
moment.
Mm.
I want to talk about Emilia's house in Mexico City. It was very rich, paintings everywhere, huge windows, and there was a staircase with no railing on it. I don't think I've ever seen that before. What did you love most about working in that beautiful space?
In fact, I'm architect, and I really like to draw spaces. And this inspiration is Luis Barragan, the famous Mexican architect. And we designed this space to be able to be combined with other spaces like the room and the corridors and everything. It was in different studio. The salon was in a studio, and the room of the kids and was in another studio. And yes, we work a lot with the light and with the colors on this set, typical Mexican colors.
Mm. I remember speaking of colors, Selena Gomez's bedroom had the purple bed sheets and the carpet was the animal print carpet.
Yeah, yeah.
What did that tell us about her character, Jessie, that everything was so wild and colorful in her room?
Yeah, yeah, so exactly. It says that, yeah. Mm.
And another set that really stood out to me was the banquet scene where Zoe Saldana is dancing around on the floor. She jumps up on the tables. Um, First of all, was there a safety issue that she's jumping around everywhere? And second of all, where did you get the beautiful chandelier that was hanging up above?
Oui, ça c'est encore un exemple d'une scène qui est vraiment un très bon mix entre des choses très réalistes et complètement abstraites. C'est-à-dire que là, on était directement dans les murs du studio qui étaient noirs. On n'a pas eu à faire de décor autour des tables. En fait, il y avait juste les tables éclairées. Évidemment, on a renforcé une table pour qu'elle puisse sauter dessus. Mais c'est un très bon exemple de ce mélange entre réalisme et abstraction que Jacques a voulu faire dans le film.
So I would say that this scene is a perfect example of the desire and Jacques' desire to mix realism and abstraction in his movie. Because for this particular scene, we had a totally dark studio. And so we didn't need to have, props or sets around the tables because with the light, we were focusing on all the tables. Of course, we reinforced one of the tables so that it was, safe for Rita to jump on it. But this was really the perfect example of this deliberate desire to, mix realism with abstraction.
Mm. And before we go, there's a scene toward the end, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's a phone call. There's three characters on the screen on talking on the phone, and two of the characters are standing still with simple colored backgrounds, kind of like this. And what went into that decision just to have the the colors with nothing else behind them?
En fait, au début du process de création, on a fait on s'est rencontré avec toute l'équipe créative, avec évidemment Jacques, avec Virginie Montel qui est la directrice artistique, avec Paul Guillaume le chef opérateur, et on a passé tout le scénario comme ça, scène par scène, pour à chaque fois essayer de réfléchir à des images fortes, qu'est-ce qu'on avait envie d'exprimer. Et ça, c'est venu au cours de ces discussions, en fait, en une sorte de préparation artistique du film. Et c'est ce genre d'idées qui sont sorties de ces ateliers de travail.
So, at the very onset of the creation designing process, we all met. The entire creative team met. So that included Jacques, obviously. It included Virginie Montel, who was in charge of the artistic direction. It included Paul Guillaume, obviously, who is the main photographer and director of photography. And we all studied together as a group the script scene by scene by scene by scene. And if for each scene we were wondering, okay, what is the impactful image we want to have here? And so this particular moment came through those talks amongst ourselves. So it was really a deliberate pre-filming artistic preparation that we did as a group.
Well, Emmanuelle, it was such a beautiful movie, and we have our fingers crossed for you, all of you, at the upcoming award shows. Thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.